And we're winning. We're winning the war. Don't let anybody fool you. I want you to put on some different specs today. I want you to know that we are winning. We're winning. See, the battle isn't given to the swift, nor to the strong, but to the one that endures. And I'm thankful that President Donald Trump is one that is enduring. I'm thankful. Andrea, God bless you, dear. You're the first one in here. I'm thankful that President Donald Trump is one that is enduring. The race isn't given to the swift, nor the battle is given to the strong, but to the one who endures to the end. And what's the end for this? We're talking about the end is January 20th, but even beyond that, Joe Biden could still be arrested even if he got into office. Yes, God bless all of you wonderful people of the Lord. All of you people, I thank God for your faith. I thank God for your courage. I thank God that you are warriors and fighters and you're in this battle. Thank God for you. Thank God for your prayers. God sees all of you. God sees all of you. I was praying this morning. I really felt assured. Hold on one second. That way I don't have to yell. I was in prayer this morning. I really felt assured that God is really watching and he's really taking notice of people like yourself. And I'm thankful to God for you. God is good. I'm thankful for all of you wonderful people. I prayed to God about you. I'm thankful for you. We're winning the battle. Don't matter what it looks like. We're winning. We're winning this deal. Canadians love, listen, President Donald Trump released a video of people around the world fighting for Trump. The video is called Fight for Trump. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I don't want to bore your time. I'm going to get into this, but I want to let you know, those of you who are a part of the 300, I want you to go ahead and let you know that tonight at 6 o'clock here Mountain Time and 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and I think maybe 5 o'clock Pacific Time, I'm going to do my Zoom for my 300 members. If you're not a 300, I want you to become a 300. Asking for the support of $10 a month. I don't like to do the Patreon because it like forces people to have to do it to be a part of it. I don't want to force you. If you don't have it, you can still be a part of the 300. You can still be a part of the 300 if you don't have the $10 a month. It's okay. Just email me at thebrokenstrongman at Gmail, and let me know that you want to be a part of the 300. I want to begin to shape you and equip you and let you know what God is saying to us, the remnant, a very small amount of people in this hour. So join me. Come on and join the team. Get on with us with Judges chapter 7, verse 7. When God raised up Gideon and his army with the 300. The number 300 is a prophetic number for light. Oh, now, also subscribe to my channel here at Pastor Jerone TV. I did a video the other day. It was very funny. I did a funny video talking about President Donald Trump called me and asked for my help. Listen, if people don't like to have fun, you're not going to like my channel. You can go ahead and unsubscribe now. I like to have a good time. I like to have fun. I'm not a boring Christian. I'm not a frozen chosen. You get saved and you get in church and you get a sour face like you've been sucking on sour lemons. I don't deal with that. I like to have a good time. I like to laugh and all that kind of stuff. I'm very serious about what I do, but then I know how to have fun and relax too. I can do it all. I'm an everything person. I just don't get involved in sin. So I did a video the other day talking about President Donald Trump asked for my help. It was very funny. I laughed at it. I may have contributed to all 1,000 views, but I noticed that YouTube started deleting people from my channel. I lost over 100 subscribers yesterday. Over 100. And the closer I get to 32,000 subscribers, the more they won't let it get to that. And I just don't believe that people did it. I think people needed a laugh at that time. We've been in the battle for a while, and we just wanted to have a little fun. And I don't believe that the people unsubscribed from the channel based on that video. So I just kind of think it's kind of a deal. All right. So do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. If you are already subscribed, when this video is over, I want you to unsubscribe and resubscribe and then push the bell. Yeah. Thank you, Brother Taylor. Eddie. I had a good time on that video. I was enjoying myself. I'm enjoying a laugh. I like to have a good time. And if you can't enjoy a good time and laugh, well, then you're not going to like Pastor Jerone TV. Okay. So look. Chief Justice Roberts. Chief Justice Roberts. You can see it in his eye. The man has some issues. I said this on a video some time ago, that Chief Justice Roberts is a homophile. Chief Justice Roberts is a homophile. He's not. A lot of these people, they put on the hat or the title of a conservative in order to throw people off, so that when they go against the conservative movement and the conservative agenda, they can have the media stand up and fight for them. Say, yeah, I'm a Republican. He's a Republican. Why are you saying this about? No. It's not about Republican or a Democrat. It's about voting for what's right. Chief Justice Roberts was busted by a whistleblower the other day who was on stage, and he testified to the fact that Chief Justice Roberts is the one behind SCOTUS's non-involvement in this political race. They're the reason, or he is the reason, why this Texas lawsuit was kicked out and why they are dragging their feet in responding to these other lawsuits. I know Sidney Powell has a lawsuit that's in there from Georgia. I know Lynn Wood has a couple of ones in there. Arizona has a couple of things in there, and they're trying to stop President Donald Trump's legal right from moving forward. And this is because of Chief Justice Roberts. I told y'all. Y'all heard it here from Pastor Jerome months ago. I'm talking about months ago, even before he started showing who he was. He revealed who he was when President Donald Trump tweeted out, and he was talking about when he was trying to get funding for the wall. President Donald Trump was saying that these are Obama-appointed judges that's blocking this, and he said, and Chief Roberts from the Chief Justice tweeted right back at Donald Trump and said, there are no Obama judges, there's no Bush judges, there's only justice. Well, that is a lie. We know better than that. We know that if a president puts some of these people in here, based on, especially when it comes to the Democrats, they'll put somebody in there that will follow an agenda and not the law, not the Constitution. And Chief Justice Roberts is one of those who is a rhino, a false Republican, and he was on video. I mean, he was on audio. This is what the man testified. He said that Chief Justice Roberts was on audio yelling at the other justices. He was yelling at them, and this is what he said. He said that he is not going to be responsible for the Democrats burning down America. He was yelling at them not to get involved in this election. He was telling them, just let it go, let Joe and let the corruption, let the evil, let them break the law, because he's afraid of America being burned down by the Democrats. There's a couple of things that we need to talk about when it comes to that. For one, if you know that the Democrats are responsible for this burning and looting and killing and shooting, something should have been done a long time ago. If you know that they are responsible for the burning down and doing all the stuff that they're doing, all right, then you should have put the Democrats in check, and somebody should be going to jail. Okay? And then number two, why would you circumvent the law based on your fear? Why would you circumvent the law? Why would you allow corruption to uphold the law. Let me see what it's going to do. All right. Okay, so we look like we're pretty good now. Y'all, am I still buffering? Okay, we're back. Chief Justice Roberts is a piece of trash. Chief Justice Roberts is a piece of trash, a piece of garbage, and he's a homophile. I told y'all that. I said this about Chief Justice Roberts maybe about a year ago, maybe longer. Chief Justice Roberts is scum. Now, he was yelling at the other justices when they got together, and he was telling them not to get involved in this election. He told them not to get involved in this election. I said, I don't know if I was buffering, so I'm going to re-say it. I said, he was telling them not to get involved in this election because the Democrats are going to burn down America, and he doesn't want to be involved in them burning down America. Number one, there's a couple of problems with that. Number one, if you knew that the Democrats was responsible for burning down, looting, shooting, killing, and destroying America, he should have done something about it. He should have said something about it. He should have called him out. They should be in jail. They shouldn't be operating right now. They should be getting down to who is responsible for this. So he called them out. He said that the Democrats are responsible for this. And then number two is that he's a chief justice. Chief justice, he should be involved in upholding the law and not allowing lawlessness and law breaking to go forward. They should have been involved in this without even anybody asking them this. Chief Justice Roberts is a piece of trash. And then number three, the other justices fell in line. That's the problem. This man, they said that they heard this man yelling, screaming at the other justices for over an hour. He wasn't alone because there was him and another justice, and he was another leftist. They were in there yelling at the conservative judges and told them not to get involved, and they complied. They complied. They went along with it. Listen, where's all the people? If you yelling at me from across the table, I'm gonna stand up and yell back. And I would have listen, I'm gonna go to the nearest camera, I'm gonna go to the nearest newspaper, and I'm gonna let them know that these people inside of this justice are not involved in justice, they are involved in politics. And this dude, Chief Justice Roberts, is a homophile. You could see it in his eyes. The dude is twisted. Look in his eyes. He's a leftist. The man has got problems. See, a lot of these people, they have homosexual tendencies, but they have same-sex attractions. But that same-sex attraction gets even worse because they don't want somebody their age or older. They want somebody younger. And guess what, folks? Attorney Lynn Wood, he is a defamation lawyer. Listen, a defamation or slander lawyer knows that you cannot put damaging lies out there on somebody because you could be sued for it. I'm talking about for damages, for your namesake. You know, you could really lose a lot of money. You could lose everything. And Lynn Wood tweeted out about Chief Justice Roberts, and here's what he had to say. He said, this is what Lynn Wood asked. He said, and I quote, "People have a list of questions for Chief Justice Roberts based on his bizarre votes on major cases, starting with the Obamacare." Okay? And he says, but I'm just going to ask two. I'm going to ask you two questions. He says, number one, are you the John Roberts on the Epson flight? Ooh, come on, man. Come on. The man is a homophile. Chief Justice Roberts is a pedophile. Chief Justice Roberts was on that Lolita Express. He was on the Epson plane. How do we know that? How do we know that? The flight, the pilots had to keep a log of the souls on the flight. The pilots, by law, have to keep a log of the souls on the flights. This is how we know that the people that's been on there. This is how we know that Chris Carter, or what's his name? What's the actor that played in Rush Hour, the black one? Chris Tucker. This is how we know Chris Tucker was over there. This is how we know Bill Clinton was there. This is how we know a lot of these folks was there. And because of this information, could Chief Justice Roberts have been involved with the death of Epstein? Could Chief Justice Roberts not only have been on that flight and going to on the Lolita Express and going to Pedophile Island, could Chief Justice Roberts have been involved in the death of Jeffrey Epstein? Now, see, this rabbit hole goes very deep, folks. And you cannot put anything past a homophile, a pedophile, a liar, or a leftist. When these people are leftists, these Democrats, they will sell your mama. They will give their mama up. And this is a time of justice. This is a time where God is judging America and the evils that have been hidden, that have laid dormant. God is bringing them and he's manifesting them. This is a cleanup time. This is a time when God is cleaning up this nation. And we're going to bring these things to exposure, and we're going to bring these things to justice. And yes, President Donald Trump is going to be back in office. And when he gets back in office, we're going to expect, Pastor Jerone told you by the Spirit of God some time ago that President Donald Trump was going to be back in office, and the next 4 years is going to be 4 years of justice. This is going to be the foundation laid. The foundation laid for the next 4 years is going to be justice. And I thank God for it. I thank God for it. What's happening, Creed? 777-9311. I thank God for it. So, Lynn Wood hit him up. As I said, I was going to sue my ex-wife for defamation because she was going to try to, write a book and tell lies about me. And I said, oh, listen, I wrote a book called The Broken Strong Man. I exposed a lot of the stuff that I went through. And I wanted it to go to court because all the lies and stuff that was being spread in my community, I wanted the community to come to the court and see the stuff let's get witnesses in the court. Well, she didn't want to go to court because I had my witnesses lined up, and I wrote my book. Her attorney tried to contact me and tell me not to write the book. I told him about all the evidence I had, and he didn't contact me anymore. But Lynn Wood is a defamation lawyer. The things that he's bringing out about Chief Justice Roberts could end his career if it's not true. It could end his career if it's not true. He wouldn't put slander out there or suggestive slander. The way he's going about it, it's like a suggested kind of way. He's not like saying yes, you did it. He's doing it in a suggestive manner. And the other question he asked Chief Justice Roberts is, did you say that did you call Trump an MFer and say that he is not going to get reelected? They overheard, one of the witnesses, a whistleblower, overheard Chief Justice Roberts on a phone conversation with another of the justice who was a leftist. They overheard them talking about Donald Trump and the upcoming election. This was 6 months ago. And Chief Justice Roberts was saying there's no way that MFer is going to get back in office. He said he's not going to let him get back in office. Folks, looks like It looks like President Donald Trump, and y'all heard it from Pastor Jerone some time ago, right? That President Donald Trump is the most spiritual president we have ever had. And I'm not, listen, when I say that, I don't want you to picture being spiritual as one who is like in hours of prayer, one who's like in hours of study of the Bible. That's one version of being spiritual. Another version of being spiritual, my friends, is when God himself has appointed you and raised you up for such a time as this. And God himself has appointed President Donald Trump to be raised up and to expose what was going on right under the nose of Americans, and we didn't see it. There was a persistent, very wicked evil abounding in America, and we did not know it. How many of y'all knew about China? How many of y'all know that Swalwell was sleeping with these Chinese? How many of us knew that these students that were coming over here to China and was being reserved in the colleges, and they had reserved spots for them in these colleges, were spies? How many of us knew? How many of us knew that America was yielding up properties that was giving $500 billion a year to China? We would have never known that because our politicians was getting their palms greased by China, and China is over here dictating to us what we are to do. And these lockdowns are an off product of China. This has nothing to do with America. These lockdowns, the style of the lockdowns that we're going through, started in China, and they brought it right over here because they have their puppet politicians, and they're telling them to shut America down and hurt the American economy. They are paid. I'm talking about all of these Democrats and some Republicans, like Mitch McConnell. He's married to a Chinese woman. But it took Donald Trump. It took Donald J. Trump to get in office and to agitate China to the point and to hit them with those tariffs that is uncovering and exposing all of the stuff that we are seeing exposed right now. You and I would have never known it. We would have never known it because no other president would have gotten up there and been as bold and courageous to say, China, this is a China disease. This started in China. President Donald Trump was the one that did the tariffs with China, and the media, the American media, was talking about China was going to win. People who live in this country, who were raised in this country, who have children in this country, was arguing for China to win the tariff war against us because they are paid by China. And I just believe that this executive order that President Donald Trump put into effect in 2018, starting in September, is going to hurt them very bad. I believe some of them are going to go to jail, starting from the top. Now, see, injustice does justice from the bottom up, but it only goes so far up. They will arrest some low-hanging fruit and then pretend as if this was the justice that we were seeking, but that was not it. Real true justice starts at the top and then comes down to the bottom. And I believe what we're getting ready to see, my friends, brothers and sisters, we're getting ready to see justice from the top, and it's going to trickle down. So now, let me say this. This is what Lynn Wood also said. Lynn Wood also said this. He said that Chief Justice Roberts was being investigated for illegal adoption. I'm going to say it again. Chief Justice Roberts was under investigation. He was under investigation for illegal adoption. What does that mean? What does it mean? Is that this should connect your mind to Jeffrey Epstein, because Jeffrey Epstein was abducting and stealing and training little girls and little boys for sex with politicians and older men and women. And this is what happens with a lot of these Hollywood folks. Oh man, I'm gonna tell y'all something about Hollywood in a second, all right? Don't let me forget it. But these folks in Hollywood and the politicians are all connected. And when they can't get their hands on stolen children, when the children market starts to shut down and they can't bring those trafficked kids in here, this is why they hate President Donald Trump so much, because not only is he shutting down the trafficking of drugs, but he's shutting down the trafficking of human beings. And this is what they thrive on. They thrive on sexual activity with the children, and they drink their blood for youth purposes. Y'all look at that comedian. Look at the comedian who, what's her name? Kathleen, who had that severed head of President Donald Trump. They drink that blood. What they do is drink the blood and the white blood cells in the blood. What's up, Jordan? My little nephew, he's a great ball player. Everybody say what's up to Jordan Davison. He's gonna be in the NFL. He's a great young man. What they do is, I don't know if y'all ever heard of a vampire facial. They get a vampire facial. If you look it up, if you DuckDuckGo it, if you search it, a vampire facial is when they go in there and the doctors take your blood and they separate the white blood cells from the red blood cells, and they inject that into your skin, and that helps your skin to look more youthful. Well, these vampires, like those Hollywood people and these people in the politicians, is that they drink the blood of their victims and they stay young. But I want you to look at a picture of Kathleen, that comedian who had the severed head of President Donald Trump. Look at the pictures of her about a year ago and look at her current pictures. You'll see that she looked like she's 85 years old, like a shriveled up, like she crawled out of a casket. Because what happened is this is why they're so angry with Trump. Like Robert, what's the dude? Robert, the actor, Robert calling President Donald Trump a punk and he want to punch him. He is known to be a pedophile. Well, anyway, President Donald Trump, because he's shutting down the borders and putting a clamp on the sex trafficking and stuff, they can't get action on the kids. And what they do is they adopt these kids. They go through a illegal adoption process. You see these actors with their husbands and wives, and they have these adopted kids, African kids, and all this different stuff. They're adopting these kids for sexual purposes. For sexual purposes. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Can I be honest with y'all real quick? When I saw Amy Coney Barrett, and this is I'm just speculating here. I'm only speculating. Robert De Niro. Yeah. Robert De Niro. I'm just speculating here, just based on all the research I've done and all this stuff. Listen, when Amy Coney Barrett, she's one of the justices. When I saw her with the adopted kids and her husband, my antennas went up. I just felt a certain way. I'm not saying that anything. I'm not saying that because she adopted black kids or none of that stuff. I just felt a little suspect about it because I know what this history of this stuff is all about. Chief Justice Roberts was involved, or he was being investigated for illegal adoption of minors. I know what that's about. Madonna is another big one. And who's that girl that she was married to? She played in all them acting movies. Her father is John Voight. Her father is John Voight. She played in these action movies. She was married to another actor, but they adopted a lot of children. And Angelina Jolie, that's right. Well, Angelina Jolie, when she went through the separation and the divorce with Brad Pitt, they was investigating him for abuse. They never told y'all what the abuse was. The abuse was sexual abuse with the kids. This is why they adopt these kids. And this is why you see the homosexuals adopting these little kids. Listen, their sexual practice, they don't like kids. They can't stand children. Understand this. Homosexuals do not like children. Their sexual practices cannot reproduce them. All of them are involved in and support abortion. And when they do get their hands on kids, they're either raping them or training them to be perverse. They're either supporting abortion, they're involved in sex trafficking, or the mental abuse of children. John Roberts, if you scrolled and did a search on him, look into that man's eyes and tell me you don't see a pedophile in that man's face. And who did it take, brothers and sisters, my friends? Who did it take to expose all of this stuff to us? Now, when you and I start really digging into this stuff and we bring it to the surface, and now they have to talk about it in the newspaper, in the media, and on TV, they just call us conspiracy theorists, as if that, listen, a conspiracy is not a bad thing. It means that people have gotten together and conspired or set up a plan to do this and thus. A conspiracy theorist is not a bad thing. They make out as if it is a bad thing, but it's not. And this is why they want to get rid of freedom of speech. They want to stop us from talking about this stuff because it always exposes what they do. And if you can stop people from thinking or theorizing as to what these people's actions are about, well, then they can get away with it. So President Donald Trump is the champion of the people. He's a champion of the world. President Donald Trump is the most spiritual president we have ever had in this country and presently in the world. Even the popes are writing about President Donald Trump. Even the popes are talking about him. There are popes who hate him, and there are popes who are writing him and telling him about the spiritual war that we are currently involved in, and that God is raising him up to help fight it. And if they can get rid of President Donald Trump, well, then we are done. Because do y'all realize that we're already under a form of martial law? What is martial law? Is when Americans can no longer operate according to a normal process. And they're using COVID-19 to interrupt that normal process. So you and I are under a form of martial law already. We're already under martial law, and we've been under it for a whole year. We've been under martial law already, and it's not a legal or constitutional martial law. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional. But when President Donald Trump is talking about doing a legal constitution, they have a fit. Trump is talking about doing a legal martial law, and they're having a fit. Although President Donald Trump tweeted out this morning that it's fake news that he's about to do a martial law. So President Donald Trump is not going to do martial law. He said that we're close to already flipping these states. He said, so it's not even necessary for me to do martial law. Now, I promised you I was going to connect Hollywood to this stuff, okay? President Donald Trump, we all just discovered that you and I, the taxpayers, have been funding Hollywood. We didn't know that, did we? We didn't know that we are currently paying taxes and to fund Hollywood. Look it up. You and I are paying taxes to fund Hollywood. And here's another killer for you. As if that didn't drop your jaw. China owns Hollywood. People saying the Jews own Hollywood. Well, China done bought them out. China has bought them out. China is running Hollywood. So you and I are paying taxes to China. We're paying taxes, and they're using some of this money. I'm thinking they're giving them grants. I think that's the how. Somebody asked how. Well, you can get grants for stuff like art. You understand? And you can call music art. You can call acting a form of art. You can call filmmaking a form of art, and get billions of dollars in grants to do it. So what they do, they take our money, they take our taxes, go produce a movie, pay these pedophiles, vampires, and homophiles all this money, make them a superstar. Then they charge you and me again at the post office, at the post box. We go to the movie. We got to pay what, $8, $10? We've already paid them in the taxes. Now we're paying again when we go to watch the movie. You understand? This is how they get rich on us, man. Y'all go ahead and push that like button for me. Push that like button. Push it. I need to get up to about 200 likes, folks. Give me a like real quick. And then share. And then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I need y'all to help me break this algorithm prison that I'm in. They got me in prison. I need you to help me break this stuff. I need you to share my videos. Just the last 2 days, YouTube took 100 subscribers away from me. I want you to check your subscription to my channel. Make sure that you are subscribed, that you haven't been unsubscribed. President Donald Trump is going to be president. I want you to relax your fears. I want you to relax your thoughts on that stuff. Pray about it. I want you to pray. Our job is to just pray and ask God to help and give them wisdom and guidance in wrestling these demons. We have been surrounded by devils, folks. And who did it take to expose this? President Donald Trump. And this is why when folks get mad at me and say, he ain't the most spiritual, when do you ever see him in church? You ain't got to be in church to be spiritual. Ain't that what y'all said? You Democrats, your churches that got shut down, your churches are shut down. And now you're not going to church. Now you're not even fighting to go to church. And you tell me that you don't have to be in church to be spiritual. Well, President Donald Trump, his assignment from God is to lead this country. And through President Donald Trump, America is experiencing a revival. I'm not talking about going to experience a revival. I'm talking about America is experiencing a revival right now. Have you ever heard so many people talk about calling on God? Have you ever seen so many people praying on their videos and on TV? Have you ever seen so many people praying for one man and for one nation? We fell asleep under Obama. He put us under a spell. We was under the spell of liberalism and under globalism and under a false pretense of love and just let everybody just love everybody. He put us to sleep. And while we were sleeping, the one world order was sowing among us the Chinese and the one world order and the takeover. But thank God that this man, President Donald Trump, withstood and have stood under the pressure of having world leaders against him, of having the Pope against him, of having the Democrats against him, having the media, the news, leftists, black folks, everybody, George Soros. And he still did it. Thank y'all. Thank you for all the likes. God bless all of you. I really appreciate you. You understand? President Donald Trump is the most spiritual president we have ever had because God himself has his hand on President Donald Trump. And this is why I'm confident that President Donald Trump is going to be back in office, because God wants to give America and the world more time. As we look at Bill Gates, who slithered out from under the rocks here recently after Joe Biden so-called won, which he's tried to steal the election. And now he's in front of the media again, and he wants everybody to take this deadly vaccine. But we're not going to have it. We're not going to go for it. We're not going to go for it. Well, anyway, when you see Pastor Jerome, I get these people who are ill-informed. They're not informed because they're Democrats. They're not informed because they don't do the research I do. They're not informed because they're not in touch with God. They're not informed because they haven't been enlightened by the word of God. But they attack me because I'm supporting Donald Trump. My support for Donald Trump goes beyond politics. My support for Donald Trump goes beyond politics. It's a spiritual thing, and it takes me too long to explain what it's all about. But they should be able to see it from by now. Because when you look at the Democrat-ran states, New York, California, Michigan, Colorado, Nevada, what's up there? Seattle. You see that these people are attacking Americans. Their whole plan is to shut down local businesses. They want them to shut down, and they are, you know who's behind that? Do you know who's behind them choking out American businesses? China. Those little bitty, tiny, mean Chinese folks. And I'm not saying all Chinese are that way, but I'm talking about the ones that are behind this Chinese takeover of America. They are small and they're tiny and they're like little chihuahuas with an overly large Abdullah oblongata who love to attack and attack humanity. Over in China right now, millions of people are being killed. They're being starved because of their faith or because of what they look like. And let me tell you something else, and I gotta go. Okay, China is involved in a world takeover, and they're trying to do facial recognition on the world. Well, recently, according to my research, I found out when they went down to some of the tribes in Africa, see, because China's taking over Africa right now, but they're having problems getting facial recognition on the Africans because their skin is so dark. Their skin is so dark that the facial recognition technology that they have is not recognizing the dark-skinned folks over in Africa. Listen, God will take natural stuff that he made to outrun technology. God got them black folks over there. He's hiding them. He's hiding them. So with that said, y'all, I'm going to go live later, and then don't forget my 300. All of you wonderful people, all of you patriots right now, I want you to subscribe to my channel here. I want you to become one of my 300. We're having a meeting tonight. I'm having a Zoom meeting tonight at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. I think it's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern Time and 5 o'clock Pacific Time. I'm going to be meeting with my 300. I'm going to give y'all some direction tonight, and then I'm going to be a blessing to you. But for now, I want to show you something in the Word of the Lord real quick. There's a mysterious being or person, a mysterious character in the Bible. His name is Melchizedek. He's very mysterious. He's so mysterious, I think Hebrews describes him as a man who has no mother, no father, no beginning of days, no ending of days. He has no genealogy. And in Genesis chapter 14, I want to share something with you, because what I'm going to do with my 300 is in January, next month, I'm going to share communion with you. Okay? I'm going to share communion with my 300 because there is a blessing in communion. Well, when Abraham got through slaughtering some of the giants and some of the kings who had taken his nephew Lot into their harem, not into their harem, but into their possession, they stole him, they took him, they won the war, and Abraham heard about it. And he went over there and fought against these 5 kings and took the nephew back and all of the money. And right after that, he was met by this mysterious king called Melchizedek. He was a priest from Jerusalem. And he was a priest from Jerusalem, but we don't know where he came from. And he was a priest of the most high God, El Elyon. This was a name that the Gentile nations use of the God of heaven, El Elyon, God Most High. And when he came to Abraham, Abraham paid tithes to him, but this is what he brought to Abraham. Genesis chapter 14, verse 18, that the king of Salem, Melchizedek, showed up with bread and wine. And this is communion. You look at what happened in Matthew 26 and verse 26. Jesus did the same thing with his disciples. He blessed the bread and he blessed the wine. And this was a symbol of fellowship between God and man. Communion is based on the bread, which is the broken body of Christ, and the wine, which symbolizes his blood that was shed for us. And without the shedding of blood and without the brokenness of his body, there will be no fellowship with God. And this is why you cannot come to God except you come through his son, Jesus Christ, who offered his body and his blood. And this king of Salem showed up with Abraham, and he knew that fellowship with God was based on the bread and the blood. And those of you who are going to be with my 300, I want us to always have communion based on and fellowship with God based on the blood that was shed and the body that was broken. All right. I will do a good teaching on that Melchizedek one of these days. Do you not know that the book of Joshua, in the book of Joshua, there was a false king of Melchizedek. His name was called Adonizek. And he too tried to present bread and wine to his false people. The book of Joshua is just like the book of Revelation. It's just like it. It's a prelude before the book of Revelation. I will show y'all that comparison one of these days when I had time to teach it. But I'm going to go live again probably the next few hours, and then I'm going to meet with my 300. I want to thank all of you so much for your shares, your likes, your comments. God bless all of you. I'm so excited for our nation right now. I'm so excited for our people, because God has shown us the wickedness of the wicked, but he's showing us his redemption. I believe God is going to redeem us from the wickedness that we see. But for real, one day is going to come when God is going to unleash on the world the thing that they are voting for and praying for and asking for. He's going to give them their false Messiah. He's going to give them the wickedness that they have been asking for. But as for now, I believe God has given us an extended amount of grace, an extended amount of time and mercy. And with that said, I want to say God bless you, and I'll see y'all later. God bless you. I'll see y'all later.